TEDx talk today. So it looks like our sound is working well, so let's get this thing started. Here in the United States of America, we have enough food to eat. We live in nice houses with roofs that don't leak. We have as much clean water as we can drink. And best of all, we have well-maintained sewer systems and toilets that flush. We lead a privileged lifestyle, yet we seldom think of it. First slide, please. These are developing countries: the Republic of Congo, Liberia, Zimbabwe, Sierra Leone. Next slide, please. These countries have yet to fully unite themselves. They have yet to build the infrastructure to tie the country and its people together. These are the countries that are often referred to as third world countries. The term third world was coined in the Cold War. It was used to refer to countries that were not aligned with the Western NATO or the Communist bloc. It is now used as a term for countries that struggle to find the basic necessities of life. Water is often impure and full of pathogens. Medical services are often dangerous and ineffective. Food is often lacking or non-existent. What is taken for granted here in the US is often lacking in these developing third world countries. Next slide, please. We live in a time of great innovation and invention. The first sustained, heavier than air flight took place just over 100 years ago. 60 years after that, next slide, please, we had landed a man on the moon. It is now the year of 2014, and we are meddling with technologies that would have seemed like magic to our ancestors. Yet even as we discover science and technologies that allow us to do the unthinkable, we have yet to help undeveloped nations step out of the Stone Age. Why? We have tried. Americans have spent billions in food, medicine, and supplies, hoping to create a higher standard of life in these third world countries. However, while it does improve life temporarily, these third world communities become dependent on the supply coming from America. When that supply dries up, they are once again living a life with too little to eat. Only this time it is worse, because they now know what it is like to have enough food, clean water, and medical supplies. My suggestion is to use the technology and original thinking that we Americans are so proud of to help fix these problems that third world countries are plagued with. By far the largest is the lack of clean water. Lack of clean water. Oftentimes, human waste is unregulated, leading to the poisoning of drinking sources. When looking how best to prevent human sewage from being allowed to infect the water system, the answer is simple: get toilets. However, this is easier said than done. In a country lacking any kind of sewage infrastructure, it is next to impossible to put in flush toilets. However, toilets that flush are not the only kind available. Next slide, please. Composting toilets are a tried and true technology. Composting toilets are allowed to be used in flood-prone areas without the risk of overflowing waste. So you ask, why haven't toilets like these been made available in third world countries? The answer is simple: they're expensive. To buy a fully functional composting toilet costs about $1,500. While that may not seem like a lot, in countries with no minimum wage, it would mean going without food for months. Some various companies have worked on creating an alternative composting toilet that is less expensive and is more easily brought into third world countries. One of these, aptly named the Crapper, is just $200, and while still too expensive for the majority of the population in these poor communities, it is a more than manageable donation for people like you or me. Additionally, a donation such as a toilet goes farther than they save food or even medical supplies, because it will last longer and contribute to cleaner drinking water. Another major problem with most developing countries is a lack of education. In the US, we are expected, some might say forced, to go to school. This allows a very high percentage of us to become successful and gives us the tools to do great things. Developing countries do not have systems like this. They cannot afford it. schooling that does go on is often lacking in supplies, such as books and paper. Some volunteer organizations have tried to donate supplies like these to third world countries, and that has helped tremendously. Some of you may have heard of Doctors Without Borders, a group of medical professionals that goes into poor communities and set up temporary doctor offices and helps them with their doctoring needs. Groups like these make incredible differences. Teachers have also set up groups like these to go into communities and set up temporary classrooms and help teach the kids how to read, how to write. In communities where a large percent of the population is illiterate, this has helped tremendously. Teaching students in these communities makes these developing countries less reliant on foreign aid and more self-sufficient. To conclude, we live in a time and a place where great leaps in science and technology happen on a daily basis, where we can build machines to do great works of labor for us, where food and clean water are taken for granted. We live in a developed first world nation. As Americans, we are extremely privileged. And as part of that privilege, we owe those that aren't as lucky as we are. In countries where drinking water is unfiltered and food is often lacking or non-existent, we owe those that aren't as fortunate as we are. It is our responsibility, our duty to help. The South Sudan, Afghanistan, Ethiopia. If you know someone that volunteers in communities like these, thank them. If you have the means to donate something like a composting toilet, water filter, or a book, do it. You're helping improve the lives of those that have to deal with things unfathomable to us or anybody that gets 3 meals a day. Thank you.